We're now joined by UFC veteran Cub Swanson, a man with the most post-fight bonuses in UFC featherweight history. Been doing his thing since the WEC days, facing Giga Chikadze this weekend in the co-main event. Cub, watching your last fight, that knockout win over Daniel Pineda, that roar you let out after the referee stepped in, you get back-to-back wins. Given some of the professional adversity through which you've overcome, the knee injury and some losses in 2018, 2019, how did the satisfaction of that win compare to some of the others in your career?
It was huge. I had such a weight on my shoulders, just having the kids and the family life and really starting to enjoy that part of my life and just in the gym knowing that I was just as good, if not better, than the version before. But having a couple losses and not being able to translate that into fight was just frustrating and confusing, you know. Um, and having the big win against Kron, and then tearing my ACL and having to sit out a year, and I did the whole rehab with wearing a mask, just trying to be extra careful not to get sick or get my family sick, and having to push through that whole time. That win meant everything to me at that moment. So it was like I did it type roar. And at the same time, that last punch that I had to hit him on the ground, I had a broken hand. So when I hit him, it really hurt. So it was like a roar of emotion and a roar of pain at the same time.
Well, I do want to ask about the knee. I was in the room at Quintet Ultra when that knee injury happened in December of 2019, and it sucked the air out of the building. You could tell right away basically what had happened. How is the knee now?
Yeah, that was super unfortunate, and I felt really bad that it happened to me. But then also, I felt like it put a damper on the opportunity for fighters to compete in things like that. Um, so I was bummed about that. I didn't want to be the guy that is like, "Hey, look what happened to Cub." But coming back from that, I set a timetable, and that's really what helped me stay focused to be able to get it strong. I think that it probably wasn't 100% when I fought, but I was very confident in it. But when Pineda, he came out, he looked pretty big. He looked like he put on quite a bit of weight, and he started kicking that knee. I was like, oh, okay, you got to get to work. And so, yeah, I was able to get the finish and perform. And after that, my knee swelled up pretty big, and it made me get right back to it right away and get back to work. You gotta get that knee 100% if you're going to be fighting again soon. So I'm really confident in my knee at this point.
Well, you've been at the WEC or UFC level exclusively for 13, 14 years at this point. Where do you find yourself continuing to grow as a mixed martial artist?
Well, it's been an up and down battle over the years mentally for me, knowing like you know it, should you still be here? Media or just fans will question every move you make. So you kind of got to dig deep and ask yourself, why are you still doing this? And at the end of the day, I feel like I've been able to come full circle to like the beginning of my career and know why I'm still doing this. And it was to become a better person, a stronger person, and to push myself to see how good I could be. And I still feel like I'm getting better at this point in my career. So it gives me a lot of confidence moving forward. And I feel like these last 3, 4 camps have just made me grown so much as a person, with having 3 kids now and a wife, and not being able to focus completely on fighting, that I have a life outside of fighting. It showed me how strong I really am.
That's awesome to hear, Cub. The task at hand this weekend is Giga Chikadze, a guy, a former glory kickboxer, 5-0 in the UFC, had a win streak before that. To the uninitiated, what is something that you see in him that you appreciate that, again, a guy like me watching might miss?
I think he does a really good job at keeping distance. And in MMA, you're always looking at trends of what's dominating in the sport. And me and my camp have really felt that whoever controls distance, whether they're trying to get close or stay away, is usually going to win the fight. And I think that he does a great job at controlling distance. And that's something that I'm going to have to work through and make sure that the fight's on my terms. I think all his experience in kickboxing is translating well into MMA, but with the opponents that he's had. And I want to be the guy that is a speed bump for him.
Given your grappling credentials, how do you get inside against an experienced kickboxer like your opponent this weekend, a guy who will have a reach advantage?
And that comes with my boxing experience. I've been boxing with some of the best pros for over a decade, been sparring partners for all these guys. There's guys that are coming up now that I was, sparring when they were first coming up. And I think that experience has really helped, because when I did mainly Muay Thai and I learned the kicking game and the elbows and the knees, I realized how incomplete it would be without the inside striking of boxing. And so I think my ability to box in the pocket and work head movement and be able to get inside someone's reach is really my advantage.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.